Hello, welcome back to the garage. Today, I want to talk about that. Let's get the covers off. While the sunshine may be out, it's definitely not as warm as I was hoping it was in the sort of half shade that I've got in the garden here, but oh, it's nice to see the car out in the sunshine again. Let's have a look, see how it's fared for the last couple of months. So, did water find its way inside? Actually, surprisingly, it doesn't look like a lot has been in here. There's maybe a little tiny bit, but at least, say, with my new hole here, it's actually draining out. Nothing appears to be over the other side. Doesn't look too bad in here. Obviously dirty, messy, half finished, but I mean, hey, you knew that already. Little bit of obviously condensation and stuff starting to happen around here, drip down. Maybe that's where the water's coming in from around here, but that can be dealt with now that I know it's there. Not at all unhappy with that. As for how the boot's going, because we're not out of the woods with winter just yet, I don't really want to take the tape off, but I didn't attach the boot, so I left the boot floor kind of hanging at that angle, so you can take a look inside and tell me what it's like. Oh, a little bit of rusty dust in the corners, not unexpected. What about the other side? Let's see, can we get you up there? Oh, very, very, very similar there, but not puddles, not horrendous, only surface kind of rust. What about the over here? Now, it doesn't actually look too bad in there, does it? I'll call that mission a success. So even up there. So it's all looking pretty good. I'm obviously going to let the car air for a little while today while the sun's out. It's a nice springtime sunny week. We are first week in March, so the weather has brightened up. Fool's spring, I don't know if they call it that, but the weather's brightened up. It's dried up for a little bit. Cold, frosty nights and sunny days. So let it get some air, let it breathe, and then it's probably going to turn miserable again in a week or two before we really hit the springtime sunshine. So what's the plan with the Mini, you might ask? Well, the plan is, and I'm going to go on record saying this now, it's 2025. I want this car done. I started this car in 2020. I got it running at the back end of 2019 with its old engine having been laid up for 9 years. So it ran and it drove, and I've made it unrun and undrive, and I've kind of gone down a wormhole because the engine ended up being in less than ideal condition. I ended up going down a rabbit hole of, well, let's make it my perfect Mini then. And I think I've kind of got a little sidetracked with being too perfect, too much perfection. And I just want to drive it and use it. So yeah, the plan is early doors in this year, as soon as the weather clears up, get the boot finished, get some paint around the boot insides, get the back of the seat bit done, make it look pretty. Doesn't have to be perfect. I just want it to be sort of, you know, pretty at a glance. You wouldn't really want to go nosing over it and being too fussed on, oh, there's a rough bit of unfinished weld here or there, or I don't want to be striving for perfection. The engine bay, yes, I did go down that road, and I'm pleased I did, because you're going to see the engine bay a lot. The inside of the boot, you're not going to see. If the back seat ends up looking really ugly when I've sort of got some paint over it and rubbed and sanded it a little bit with a bit of filler here or there to try and fill the little gaps, then I think my approach is going to be along the lines of just contact adhesive, spray adhesive or something, and stick some black carpet on it so you can't see it. It doesn't matter, as long as when you're looking at the front of the car and when you lift the bonnet up, it looks kind of cool and it kind of looks like a reasonably nice car, because that's all I want it to be, is just a reasonably nice car. So that moves me on to, once the body work's done. Now you may remember me saying I've got some sills. They're inside, and I was going to go along the lines of replacing them. There are some bits that need attention, and if it gets there and I think, oh, you know what, that's a bit too ugly, like down here where the roll cage mounts, I will deal with it there and then. But if I don't need to pull it off, I'm not gonna. So this is an oversill that was then cut down to the same size as a normal sill, which doesn't have the breather holes. And there's not really anywhere on here that's actually, you know, giving me cause for concern. It's solid, it would pass an MOT, so I'm not too worried about it. So I might actually not deal with it, but I've got the panels if I need to, and they'll probably be done at some point, but that's not the end of the world. So once the bodywork's done and the inside of the car is painted, the boot's got some paint in it, and it's looking nice, subframe back on its wheels. The rear subframe, again, I think it would still pass an MOT, so I might just leave it as it is. It's an easy part to change later. Currently still works, not going to fall apart. I might overplate a couple of areas just to make sure there is some strength there. But again, that's a quick, easy job. It shouldn't take me long. So everything back together, back on the ground, and then I can get the engine in. Speaking of the engine, you will see this mocked up here. You may well know what's going in here. I may have mentioned it on countless occasions, but in case you're new to this and you haven't seen it, this is my dummy engine. There's actually nothing going on here. The real engine is built. It's going to be, oh, it's not going to be, it's done. It is a 1420 A-series block, BMW K1200 RS cylinder head, and my own belt mechanism. So I've mentioned it on my last mini video. I'm going to get it here and do some more videos on it, but I just wanted you not to forget that as soon as it's down on the ground, the engine bay is ready. So the engine can go in the hole, and then we can start sorting out the wiring, which is all living in these boxes. So what have you been up to for the last sort of 3 months, Nick? Well, I have been putting videos out. I've been maintaining my Mondeo, done a few bits on that. I've got both cars through the MOT. Now I've got to do a service on both of them. So I'm going to do videos on them because there's people out there who don't know how to do that. So that's going to happen. And I've been beavering away on my 3D printed stuff. So let me just quickly show you a couple of bits. Now, last time I did a video in here, I will have showed you this whole setup and what I was planning to do. And I've done some test prints and there were some other bits here. Please excuse the chaos on the workbench. But yeah, the plan is to mimic this original shape, but with my own twist so that I can do my own thing. And I have here, it is. Now there is a little artifact in the top surface here, but that's nothing that can't be sanded down, filled and then painted over if I need to do so. It's only a low quality print, done as fast as I can. I think each half was about 10.5 hours, but the hole sizes, the hole locations, everything is as it should be. The indicators have clearance left and right, you can flash. I'm really, really pleased with this. So the design is now finalised. It's just sorting out things like printing defects. So I'm more onto the printer side of things than I am the design side. But I'm really, really pleased with how that looks. It absolutely resembles the original, but there is no key socket on this side. And that's not all. So you may remember the BMW A-Power cam cover part that is going to go on my BMW K head in there. So this was the test piece that I used. I had to glue this back on. I've learned, made some alterations to the design, made some extra strength in there, a bit more infill, and I've tried printing it a different way. Once you've designed something, you then have to figure out the best way to print it. So this one, as obviously I tried a few iterations, this one was printed on its side, like so. And it came out well, and it's been quite strong, and I was really happy with how this went. Obviously I needed to make this bit a bit beefier, but the general dimensions were exactly right, and I was happy with it. What I really wanted to do was to print it flat. The issue being, to support this, you've got to have a lot of infill material here holding it up, as you will see on this failed print. So I tried a different style. This is the tree form, and it did a much better job. And I printed this a couple of days ago. So the writing in it has come out much, much, much nicer, if you can see on there. You see the difference of the two side by side, where the sideways writing was a little bit sketchy in places. The laid down writing was much better. The thing is, you lose some of the finer detail on this end, so you've got a couple of funky edges, artifacts, whatever you want to call them, whereas this one was a much nicer curve because it was obviously printed in a way that allows that to happen. This one wasn't, and underneath just looks awful, and this tab didn't print very well. What I discovered was that the height of that and the height of that weren't the same as the height of that. So as much as there was support under it, one piece of my support failed, and so this didn't print so well. So I have literally just done another print. It finished in the last few moments, so let's break it out. This is only very haphazardly set up, as you can see. So let's... I've done a much finer render this time. Let's see if this comes out. Woohoo! Okay, so it printed upside down on its side again to get these curves in. Let's have a closer look at how it's come out. Okay, so you can see the support material for holding up the letters is still there. And there might be a little glitch in the print just here, but it's all a learning process for me here. So the support for that part there, that comes off nicely. I used to say the regular support. Oh, does it come around the back? It does come out. So it does all of this as well, all in one go, around the back edge, and then it comes off. Okay, so a little bit of sanding and filing to be done there. These bits are all coming off nicely. Or maybe that made a bit more persuasion. Yeah, that's going to need a bit more force. Right, let's clean this up a bit better, shall we? So how does it look? Well, I have to say the writing I do like better this way up, but the actual shape of it I like much better sideways. The only bit that's not doing so well is this corner here. You see I've got a nice radius here, but less so here. Obviously on the flat print both corners were lovely, and this one was the same up here. It's not quite right in this corner, but I guess it's kind of trying to build out over nothing, so the support material needs to be really close. But it's a learning process, and these bits have now, I mean that's a lot stronger, much more robust, much more there holding it in. So let's do the click test. Oh, that's much better. Yeah, that locks in beautifully. So yeah, design is absolutely perfect. Yeah, there you go. Nothing broke, it locked in. Yeah, so I'm happy with the design changes I've made. This might end up being a two-stage print. So I do this bit first, and then I do the writing second, but then I'm going to have some means of mounting it in exactly the right place in there. So more figuring out to do. There is always the chance of printing it on an angle, maybe that might work out better. Maybe give it a 45-degree angle to print on, but even then I'm still not entirely sure. The only bit, say on the top, that's not perfect, we've got a line running through where the letters are, but again, this was the highest quality print. This is a 21-hour print, this, and that was a 24-hour print. Yeah, tricky. I might try a few more iterations. I might go back and do this style print again, maybe change my layer height settings around here so we can get a smoother transition, because maybe that might be the key. Anyway, I'm rabbiting on about 3D printing. And while 3D printing is on the tip of my tongue, I'll just answer some 3D print questions because I know they're going to come up in the comments and people are going to ask me. So all of these are currently test prints in PLA. The printer I'm using is an Ender 3 Max. The final plan is to have these printed in like a carbon reinforced or a fiberglass reinforced nylon. The original was a fiberglass reinforced nylon, so it should be able to handle the temperature and everything, but who knows, you've got to build one and try one to see. So there's people saying ABS, there's a few suggestions have gone out before. Right now it's PLA. I might even give one to somebody to try in PLA so that you can see how it holds up, because it might actually not get that hot, but it might, we never know. Don't know things until you try. So yeah, eventually, yeah, carbon fibre or fiberglass reinforced nylon is the plan. So I know the printer needs an upgrade for that, but again, that's a job for Ron. The whole car can be done and running, and this can be beavering away in the background to keep me happy. So yeah, okay, so we're up to date with the car. So before we finish for today, I just thought I would ask a couple of questions. So if this was your car and if you were doing it, what would you do first? Is your order of things the same as mine? Would you get the boot in, get it painted and leave it looking ratty, or would you want to be doing a whole car? Would you not? Would you finish the whole car in one go, or would you do it in stages? Do a bit, get it running, drive it, take it apart for the winter, worry about the paint afterwards. What approach would you take? If you can leave in the comments what your thoughts would be, even if it's just get the hell on with it and stop talking, Nick. Yeah, you know, I do hear you there. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.